Hi, everybody. Today I would like to talk to you about um, a way artists improve after they have done their first works. So, one thing artists do is instead of just creating one work and then moving on to the next work, they work in something called, they often work in what's called a series. Um, and a series is more than one piece of work. So, what's the difference between just moving on and doing a series? Um, a series is kind of repeating the same project, but in a new way. So you're kind of having the same rules and the same subject, but maybe doing it a little bit differently every time. And hopefully, with a series, your ideas will improve each time you go on. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes when you're doing a series, you'll have a success, and then you might have an utter failure. But then the next time you come up with something really cool and new, and a series is a great thing to try to really challenge yourself and challenge yourself creatively. And also, it's a great way to push your creativity to help you think of things that you didn't think of the first time. Because once you've created a first piece, um, you're smarter than you were before and you know more things. And so the second time you come at it, you have more confidence and you might be willing to try something new. And you might say, hey, looking at that last piece, I want to do something new. So I'm going to give you some examples and then hopefully see what you can do with playing with a series with the Art of Triangles. So this is a piece that I'm really happy with. It's part of a series that I've been working on for a long time, and uh, I put a lot of time into it. But this piece didn't come out of the blue. It really came as the result of, for me, for working on a series on golden rectangle or the golden section. So that's a geometry term that I haven't taught yet, but it's not triangles, but the idea is still the same about working in a series. So let me show you the one of the first ones that I did before I got to this project. So this piece is the concept of this piece is creating a rectangle, a golden rectangle, which is a concept in geometry, and I wanted it to kind of see if I could construct it and end with that red triangle in the middle. I liked it. It was basic. I left all the circles in because I wanted to show the constructions. But I knew I could do more. So that kind of led me to my second project. So this was the second piece I did in this series, and I decided to do the golden rectangle again. I wanted to play around with the colors. I wanted to move towards the center again like I did last time. This time I started from the center and I constructed that little flower thing first, and I built up the rectangle from there. Then I played around with the color, adding darker values and lighter values to show that kind of spiral figure. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. And that led me to my second or my third piece, which I thought, what happened if I would create two of them to make the shape of a heart? So this piece worked out really well. I really enjoyed making it and creating it. Um, I had fun sharing the process with you. I actually made it a second time and videoed how to construct it to create that video I shared with you. And had a lot of fun with it. Instead of coloring the whole spiral this time, I just left it red to kind of fit with my theme. So it's really different from that first piece I made, or even the second piece. And my wife said this one was her favorite, so that made me feel really good. And I thought, hey, this is really cool. What happens if I go even further? What if instead of just having two golden rectangles, what if I had four and kind of put them around a circle? And so that led me to my fourth piece. And so this piece, it has, if you look carefully, you can see there's four golden rectangles. They're kind of overlapping, and that spiral starts from the center. And then this time I have four of those yellow rectangles, and they're spiraling out toward the edges. I spent more time coloring it, really trying to create lights and darks to create contrast. Um, Probably spent, I think, about 4 hours coloring this. A lot of time I colored it once and then went back and filled them in and shaded them in and did that again and again. I looked at it a lot. I put it far away. I spent a whole evening in front of the TV, probably watching like 4 or 5 episodes while I colored this. Had a lot of fun, and I really like what I did with it. Um, my color choices I'm not super happy with, so I'm kind of excited to do another piece to play around with different color schemes. Um, I hadn't introduced that color scheme idea to you guys yet, so I wasn't thinking about it very carefully myself. So I'm inspired to keep on going with this series because it's kind of fun for me. So um, hopefully these ideas can get you excited about trying a series. And so I'd like to share with you another series on the art of triangles construction and a concept that I'm playing around with. And so here we go with that. So I've showed you a number of videos on constructing all the triangles. Here I'm just finding the center. But mainly I've been thinking about a concept with all the triangles that I thought I would want to try out that was kind of sounded fun to me. And that's, what if we had a series of, I'm thinking about the numbers, like all centered around the center of a circle. So um, it's kind of easier to show than to talk about. But first I wanted to start with one triangle around the center. So here I'm drawing an equilateral triangle. But my idea is, what if I had one triangle and then two triangles around that center, and then three triangles around that center, and then four triangles around that center. So that was my concept, and this is my first kind of experiment with that, trying it out for you guys and for myself to see what I come up with and see what it looks like. So that's another example of a concept, is some idea. A concept is really an idea of trying something with that, a variation on it. Before, my other concept was basically just make all the triangles, and it was pretty vague. This concept is a little bit more specific, and I hadn't thought about it until I made that other one. And so, kind of on the idea of the series, creating one piece often allows you to develop a new and more interesting concept that you can try out. So I hope you guys spend some time thinking about it and use your first piece as inspiration, and try to do a second, maybe even third or fourth, and see what new concepts you can come up with and see how your art can grow. If you've got the time, this is a really great way to improve your artistic abilities by working in series instead of just on individual projects. So hope you have fun, and I look forward to seeing what you can do. Thanks.